Yep, I'm here on the river again, and no, you're not in a time warp. I am wearing 70s hippie clothing, but no, I'm not going to get in the river to do damselflies again. I've got a rather urgent project involving this old knackered hide that's seen better days, rather like its owner, and this lovely little pool here, because there is where birds like wagtails and linnets come to bathe and drink in the heat of the day. And across the pond come swallows and house martins with their mouths open drinking. It's seemingly an impossible shot. Well, I'm going to try and get it all in my 70s hippie clothing. Peace, man. Now, I'm using a hide because birds are shy when they come down to bathe and drink, and especially linnets. So I want to make sure that when they come down, they stay for a decent period of time. They give me some natural behaviour and they're not scared of me. So I put the hide up a couple of days ago. It's fine weather. In the UK, when do we ever get 5 days of sunshine? Well, that's what we've got here. Now, I said earlier this was an urgent project. It's urgent because they're going to put the cows in the field here in 2 days. And in 2 days' time, they're going to come down to this river and they're going to trash this. And you may say, it's already trash. Well, it is already trashed. It's been dragged through a hedge backwards. In fact, the mother-in-law's hedge, because it's been in her garden to do field fairs in the orchard last winter, and that's where it's been. But I'm going to use it today. I've got much more trendy, nice hides at the moment, but this is the ideal one to use on the river, just in case they bring the cows in a bit early. Today, I'm 2-camera hippie rouse in the hide. I've got 2 cameras going. This one here, In1X, has got a 40 to 150 2.8 on it, so 300 2.8, and it's got one job and one job only, so you better do it right. It's get high action shots of swallows and house martins as they fly across the pond with the mouths open drinking. Oh, I set myself the most ridiculous challenges. It's on 30 frames a second, okay, because you need that kind of speed to even get something. It's on the fastest CAF setting +2 that you can get. It's on -2 stops to take the brightness down, and it's about 6 to 8 thousandths of a second, which is the minimum I'm going to have to get, assuming I can see the things in the first place. So that's camera number 1 that's there just to do one job and one job only. So my second camera is this low jobby EM1X 300mm f4, but with a 1.4 converter on it, and it's there specifically to get any bathing shots or action shots of them when they're down in the water or just drinking or walking along or whatever, mainly for wagtails that I've seen down here at the moment, but also linnets have been down to drink, goldfinches, and all kinds of things. Really, I haven't been in here enough to know what's going on. I didn't have time to do much field work, and as you know, the cows are coming, so I don't have many days left. So I'm just going to sit in here for, I don't know, 4.5 hours this afternoon and see what happens. Yes, it's cramped. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but there are a lot of people in this world today a lot worse off than me. I'm sitting in a tent in the sun, seeing beautiful animals. How happy could I be? Really controversial thing to say this, but I've actually enjoyed lockdown because it's reset my wildlife photography, and it's allowed me to remember doing stuff like this that I used to do and that I'm out of the swing of. I just have such a busy life with traveling and stuff that I forget how fun this is to be in a cramped tent with the side blowing on your head, laying on stones, dying for a wee and not able to go, and sweating. I just forget how pleasurable this is. Well, it's been a quiet 2 hours, and that's fine because it's been bird siesta time. Hopefully now, while the sun is dropping, the wind is coming up, it's getting a little bit cooler, I can hear a lot more bird song. So they've got used to me, got used to the hide, and I'll get some action because I certainly couldn't have any less action than I have right now. First action, there are 2 wagtails coming now. I thought they were grey wagtails when I first saw them. I've only seen them through binoculars from afar, but it's not. It's a yellow wagtail, and yellow wagtail is even brighter than the grey wagtail male. It's the first time for me I've ever seen them up close, and they're coming. Wow, they're just coming closer and closer and closer. This is where experience comes in because I've got the camera already set on the bathing pool. Okay, that's what I'm waiting for, so I'm not going to move it excessively. They can't see me moving in here. They certainly can't hear me, so we're okay. They're coming to the bathing pool. Both of them. The female's in front. The female is much bolder than the male. The male is very, very, very shy. Oh, she's going in. Chucking water over herself. Oh, here comes the male, here comes the male. The male's coming in, the male's going in. the camera because what I want is to try and get some of him in the water again, and I don't want to move anything and create a problem, so I'm just going to wait. Too many times you scare birds in the eyes by moving the lenses, so it's just a question of you focus on what you want and you wait for it. Just sitting there preening himself. I'll try and get some footage later. Often birds like this will come back for a couple of baths in an evening, so once I've done the bathing, next time I'll set up for the preening, and you might get some preening as well. It's really cute. It's just so cute. Gorgeous. That was amazing. Yellow wagtails. They've gone off now back to the nest. I'm not interested in following them. That's their business over there. I'd rather they come to me here and have a nice bath, which they did. The female is a much more aggressive bather. You can make of that what you will, girls. The male was a bit shy. Oh, I get a bit of water on myself and shake my tush a bit like that. He was shaking his tush very well, actually. It's great. I just can't tell you how it feels. It's my first sighting of them ever up close, and to get a male in that plumage like a budgerigar, I mean, the most incredible looking bird along with the kingfisher in the UK. And how many of us actually just watch them go by without a second glance? They're so incredible, and I hope that you've seen some of the footage here and you're inspired to go and find them yourself, because they're amazing. But I haven't finished yet, because there might be some more visitors. I've seen the goldfinch, I've seen the linnet, and I know there's a couple of pied wagtails here as well in this area. So let's just wait, fingers crossed. I'll be quiet. It's got nice and cool here. It's good. I don't have any biscuits. It seems to be a recurring theme. No biscuits. I must bring biscuits. It's a plea to biscuit manufacturers. Send me some biscuits. Shameless plug. It's image critique time. That's why I'm not a singer. So thanks for everyone that sent them in this week. Let's get straight in. This is Tony with an orange tip on a cuckoo flower. And I really love this because all too often people that take pictures of butterflies, it seems to be the accepted norm that you've got to get a single stalk with a butterfly with everything completely out of focus. And I know that's really beautiful and genteel, but butterflies live in meadows, and I want to show them in meadows where they actually live, because that's what we have to preserve. So well done, Tony, for showing this orange tip actually in a meadow. I've never even seen an orange tip, so I'm mega jealous of you. It's razor sharp, I'll just tell you that, because I've looked at it 100%. The only things I would do, I've done a little bit of work on it. I've changed the crop, so I've cropped it what I think is a more nicer crop for the whole picture. As well, I've created a little bit of what I call a watercolor wash around it, because sometimes, even though it's in the meadow can be a bit distracting. So I've washed it down a bit. I've brought the colors of the butterfly out and the flowers out as well, but I've done absolutely nothing else to it. So really, really good shot there, Tony. And again, hats off for showing butterflies in meadows. Butterflies in isolation are good, but they don't live in isolation. They live in meadows. So I think for a conservation message, we need to show more and more of butterflies in the context of where they live. This picture is from, I'm just looking, Peter here. Well done, Peter, sent me a very nice picture of a kingfisher. I can't do much with this, to be honest. It looks like it's in quite hard light because the sun angle looks to be from slightly above, because you can see it's in shadow there, and also underneath the branch. I'd much prefer it if you shot this in soft light. So if you could shoot this in more the golden hour, that would be great. You need to have your perch a bit less of a straight angle. So you need it angled up slightly, maybe with a perch with a bit of a kink in it. You can go looking for kinky perches today. It just makes the picture a bit more interesting. Your focus is perfect. You've got it on the kingfisher. It's lovely and wet. It looks really nice, and the composition is perfect as well. Center line, looking across, absolutely brilliant. Can't fault that at all. I would look for ones in the edit as well where the beak isn't apart, because if the beak is apart like that, the bird can look hot or stressed or something else. So it's a lot more relaxing picture if the beak is actually together, the two halves of it are together. So yeah, so I'd look at that. I'd look at shooting in earlier light if you can, and I would look at getting a bit of a kinky branch. All right, so I didn't do any processing to that. I don't need to change the composition because it's great. So just have a look at those things. Now, these pictures came from Shane in Australia, who has been talking to me about lockdown down there. And I wish everyone
everywhere in the world, maximum safety. So please be careful and be safe because we're not over this yet. Now, my knowledge of Australian birds is zero, so close to it. So I've no idea what this is. So I'm just going to merely comment on the composition. It's in the middle of the frame, but it's looking out. Okay, so I need some more space on the beak side of the frame. I'm not quite sure which side my camera is going to show me pointing. It's probably that side, probably. Even though it looks like this side on the screen, it's probably that side when it comes out. But I need more space for the bird to look into. Okay, it needs a bit more on it. Otherwise, I'm looking at the wings and not at the face, and it's looking out. Obviously, we want to brighten the bird a bit as well, but it's the composition that I want, because I don't think you've shot it square. You've obviously cropped it square. So I'm thinking there's more space on that left-hand side there, Shane. So I want to see the picture with more space on that left-hand side for the bird to look into, and then just a bit of brightening and a bit of color, and it's a really corking picture, whatever it may be. And this is obviously a wallaby. Now, the problem we have here with this, okay, let's deal with the positive first. You shot backlight, you're a hero, you get a backlit badge, okay? It doesn't mean anything, but you get an Andy Rouse backlit badge. It's a big stamp on your forehead there, backlit badge, okay? So well done for doing that, because so many people just don't think about doing that first off. You clearly have, and it's paid off because you've got that lovely line all around the ears and all around the side of the wallaby. Absolutely brilliant. The problem is we've got a half and half picture. We've chopped the body off in half. You either have whole body, including the head, hopefully, or head and shoulders, but nothing else, okay? So again, I'm not sure if you shot it like this, or if you cropped it like this, or maybe it's a crop, but if you've got the crop long ways, it might be a better option. If it is, you've got to watch the tail that you don't cut the tail off, of course, and you don't put the head too much on one side. But other than that, that's what I would do. But top marks for shooting backlit. Well done. Really, really well done. And also Shane gave us a pelican as well. And yeah, I really like this. It had quite an aggressive vignette on the pelican. So I found it quite hard to process it for you. What I did, I just came out with a few extra, you probably see, is there a change there? Yeah, there's a very subtle change there on the screen. I've just darkened it a bit. But I found it quite hard to process because of this vignette that was over the pelican. I wouldn't use a vignette to that degree when you're processing stuff, because you've done all of the hard work here. You've got a nice low angle, you've got a beautiful reflection, beautiful light. You don't need to do anything like that. I think with the raw file here, all I would be doing, to be honest with you, is watching that highlight on the chest maybe, and just using the natural light that you've got, because the pelican's doing something interesting. It's got a beautiful reflection. You haven't cut the reflection off. You've done a great job there. As I say, you've done a great job of the whole picture. I don't think you need the vignette, that's all. So I would just reprocess that with that in mind. And again, you cropped it to square. I wonder if it would be better like this, or better portrait mode maybe. Tighten on that side there with some space here for the beak to look into. Have a play with that, but you've done all the basics absolutely perfectly there. So really well done. Oh, this is Claire, and Claire went down to Netbury Wilding, which is a fantastic project down in Sussex, to use their hide. She's recently been on my Working with Light course, where I was trying to persuade everyone to shoot backlit and not shoot frontlit, and there are places on the new course about to be announced. Shameless plug there. But this is a lovely picture, okay? Really good timing, really good action. You shot lovely backlit as well. You can just get enough of the branch there. You've obviously darkened the exposure down, so you've thought about this a great deal, and it works. All I've done is given it a bit of extra oomph. Okay, so you can see there I've given it a bit of extra oomph around it. I've given it a little bit more golden light through the wings. That's all, just a little bit more contrast, a little bit more jumpy out the frame. Because jumpy out the frame is what I find a lot of people's pictures aren't when they send them in. And that's all I do, is make them jumpy out the frame. But all of the basics here, it's a great picture. It's a lovely backlit little owl picture. It's better than any backlit ones I've got, because I haven't done any backlit for ages. I just love it. But when you do make them backlit, you know, make sure there, I've got the post there as well. I've just left that in a little bit. You've got to tell the story of where it's jumping from. And don't try and put detail on it, because there isn't any detail on it. The light's coming from the other side, so there can't be any detail unless you've used flash, which you wouldn't, because then you wouldn't get backlit. So really good shot, well done. I've got no idea what's next. Oh, this is Derek. Now, Derek sent me this. Now, I like the colour on the swan, Derek. What I don't like of this is the composition. I like the peaceful feeling and everything else you've done. but it's too tight on the composition, okay, because you've got a really beautiful scene here. You've got beautiful colour on the water. You've obviously been out early or been out late. You've done a really good job. The swan is in a perfect pose. You've got it in the middle of the frame. You've done all the really, really hard stuff, except we've done what we call a bullseye composition. We've put it right in the centre there, okay, when I suspect there's a lot more beautiful room to breathe. So what I've done, now this is really bad, so don't look at this. What I've done, I've used I've used Photoshop just to automatically add in some extra bits. Now you can see all the joins, it's done it, you know, it's done it as well as it can, but I just wanted to show you what it could be like if you've left some more space in. You see it's got some more space to breathe here. It looks a lot nicer here because there's space on it. So I'm not sure if you crop that original one to send it to me. If you have a wider version of it, I think you should really, really use that, because it's the light here that's magnificent that makes the picture, and you give the swan space to exist. I also changed the colour on the original one for you, just to show you a colour variation. It took me 2 seconds to do this. Still retaining the blue of the wings, but maybe a colour variation on the water, because maybe that water coloration was a little bit bright and not kind of in feeling with the sunset or the sunrise you were trying to do. So I just, you know, just bear in mind that the picture you take is a starting point, and there are many, many, many variations of it. And just to end today, we've got Tony back again with a lovely dandelion shot, and I can see it's done first thing in the morning or after rain, because there's loads of dewdrops on the bottom, and the dandelion's just about to go. It's on its last legs, and I just really like this picture because it's pretty hard to find dandelions in this state, because I've been trying and I've got fields of them, but I like the low angle. You've got really down low, which means you've got wet. Well, good for you. You've put it against a really bright bush as well, and I know for a fact that Tony's a very good photographer, and he would have thought of this doing this. Again, all it needs is a jumpy out the pagey effect. So where's Rouse's jumpy out the pagey effect? There we are, there's my jumpy out the pagey effect. Did you see that? It's very subtle. Let's go back to the original one. There's the original one, and then I press enter again, and here's the jumpy out the pagey effect. So what I've done, I've given the flower a bit more life, I've given the background a bit more life and colour, and I've just made it stand out. That's all it needs, a very, very quick contrast boost. So thank you very much for everyone that sent in all of the pictures. For the past few weeks, I've managed to forget all the information on how to send them in and where to send them to. So it's down below in the description field now of all of the videos. So please send them in. We add them to the pot, and we will pick random ones to show every show. So thanks, Scott. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it, and see you next time. That's the end. All good things come to an end. Well, actually, they don't, because this week we've got our zoomed in premium content live and waiting for you. So if you want a little bit more of Wildman Rouse in your life, then this is the place to get it. Follow the links below, or follow the links from all of my social media, or just go to my website. It's very easy, and look for the fan club, okay? The Wild Bunch, that's what we're calling you. Log into the fan club. It's free to create a membership, and you'll get a load of buying options there in the shops. You can buy a premium content from today, a zoomed in. It's a bumper length one, and that's going to be £2, all right? And that's going to contain all stuff about how to set up a hide, how I made sure that the pictures were good of the wagtails, how I looked at the habitat in the background, how my brain worked when I was shooting. And then you've got a bumper image critique with all the pictures, plus a load of bonus ones, and a special section on shooting a little bit of slow-mo images and how to shoot at really slow shutter speeds. All that for £2. Now, if you want, you can also buy an annual membership to the fan club, which will give you all of the premium contents I do included, plus some webinars and other stuff too that we haven't dreamt up yet, but we're going to do. There you go. It's packed with stuff. It's great value, and it's a little bit more of Wildman Rouse in your life, and who can say there's anything wrong with that? Well, as always, I just want to say thanks for watching Wild Angle. There'll be another one along in a couple of weeks' time, and this part of the show will always be free. So please hit the subscribe button and put your comments underneath, and we'll see you again very, very soon.